Hello, microphone check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2. Hello, 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 and welcome to another edition of Sierra Media Live on YouTube and Facebook. And I want to say welcome to the special edition live from Abidjan. Well, I want to say welcome to that once more, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for joining me specifically. And I might definitely have some of my members of the crew later on joining, but I just want to make one know for say today I am running a one-man show kind of in a way. So I hope you will for understand and possibly forgive me small. Like I say, today I'm practically going to be doing a one-man show, just get a quick review of what's in the first rounds of the tournament don't be so far. And I feel say what we don't get right now, now for like we understand, say the first stage of the competition is over officially yesterday. All the teams that were supposed to qualify don't qualify. All the ones they will not qualify, some of them don't pack them back, some of them don't go home. But it's been a very interesting 1 week plus so far. And my stay in Abidjan has been a little bit ups and down, not 110%. And I've been stuck indoors, not for any specific reason, but it's just the fact that I have to do a lot of running around, trying to get things sorted out, get my accreditation. Look, I'm not getting my accreditation last year, but I can't go find and make a anger. So they will understand that I speak from the official platform of an accredited member of CAF representing Sierra Media on this massive big platform of African football. So it's nothing that strange for many people who don't follow me for the past couple of years. Not for say this is not our first Afcon. We've gone out to 3. This is the 3rd one. And the first one was in Cameroon, where fortunately Salon qualified. And then the second one na Morocco, where Salon not qualified, but it been supposed to be something we for try for participate, but I think as a nation, we for don't able for qualify in that particular tournament day, but things were not favorable for us. I know say they say make I give myself small headroom, and this guy for seeing how I go adjust headroom, get access to my laptop, and get access to the camera they want to get for the church and change various different angles. But anyway, that's a different challenge on its own, but I will try to see the best I can. And I know say I get my technical team out there where they monitor everything what they do, because I am kind of running a one-man show, as in have all the devices in front of me, and then I'm just using my hands to make sure that I reach to all the various different areas. And yes, I might be going to the chats once in a while for see what people in they say. And I want to welcome Mems. Mem, thank you very much for joining us. I know you're not the very first person we don't begin communicating at the chat. And welcome to have you again tonight. I know you're not a dedicated football fan. We don't know who's country to support from this nation's couple. Because I know for they say better luck next time for Salon for qualify. But that's another question we will get for ask ourselves as Sierra how serious are we ready for participate in this sort of competition at this level? Are we just there to just receive per diem and get the players then back for go home with possibly a couple of few $1,000s in their pockets, or we actually serious about qualifying and making sure that we participate at the highest level of African football? Yes, we did participate 2022, but we're not too sure whether that was just a fluke. Again, if it was a fluke, then it was a good one. But we'll not see the consistency of the follow-up of that particular one because we would expect for qualify back this year. But unfortunately, we didn't. I don't know whether it's down to management, down to players' performance or players' commitment. It depends on what we look at from various different angles. They might be able to determine what was the real issue for this. But anyway, like I say, there's a lot to talk about today because we don't done the first rounds of the African Nations Cup in Abidjan, well, in Ivory Coast. We then get various different grounds and way the matches and they play. I have attended about 3 or 4 matches, 4 matches so far. And the reason being, I was here almost about a week ago, and we will get serious amount of delays with commitment of work that we will get for doing in London, so that will be not give the chance to make we take off early. But I would not say it's a bad thing to be here now, because at the end of the day, this is not a major side of the tournament. We try to make sure say everybody will the follow and watch, we get some amount of updates on what is happening. I might be doing some live events in possibly some of the knockout stages that really happen because of licensee or license fee or things that will possibly go affect with platforms in terms of license for showcase certain things that will go cost a huge amount of money. That is why we're not actually broadcasting the game live for you guys to be able to watch it. But I think what we'll have planned to do is to make sure that we have at least some behind the scene footages of a live event where they happen either at the pitch or outside the pitch. Before the game kick off, we can get some preview of the stadium, preview of the supporters there, and then maybe we can do one or two couple of interviews with other journalists the way they are around. We possibly go around for say a few things about their country or why they are there to represent. So these are some of the activities we are possibly going to be doing going forward. And I think that will be something that we audience then go appreciate, because it costs a lot of money to be here. And I'm not just one for Kano, but just for can get holiday. It's not a holiday, it's like a working trip. And you get for put all the effort in. We get for also engage in other forms of documentary building, looking at things the way they happen within Ivory Coast, the commercial aspect of the games. Well, I will not say much of the political aspect of the games, but maybe that will come in at some point, because not everybody is quite happy about the fact that Ivory Coast is hosting an event like this. We then get some other kind of national issues that we maybe some people can think so they will deal with instead of investing a huge amount of money on sports. But a lot of people understand say sports not something where they also generate a lot of income in any country's economy. So we might think it's a waste of resources or money or energy or funds that should have been channeled into something else. But if they take them seriously and they manage the facilities they really don't create seriously, then they're able to generate enough fund from the facilities. And to be honest, the facilities are state-of-the-art facilities. When you look at the new stadium then from the outside, you might be thinking, wow, what can I do on the preview of our video? I will possibly flash that one in the back later on. Make una just see the two stadiums then we me don't go cover matches them. We the one at Yamoussoukro, the one inside Abidjan. The one at Yamoussoukro is a newly built stadium. They call him Charles something. I don't forget the name of him anyway. But that stadium they then build they actually commissioned them 2021, 2022. For me able for done on time is a massive investment. And the thing we also amazing is like they've built around a whole village around the stadium there. So when I say a whole village, it's an empty space, massive empty space. We go take a huge amount of population if they decide for locate people them or businesses them or just create some kind of structures them around the hotel, around the stadium. So you know just look empty on your own. That now one element of what I feel to say they have done, and that could be something we then can able for build on and create more structure them around the stadium then. Of course, the one way I watch, we are going to look the game now. Abidjan is another massive stadium. When I say massive, extremely massive, it's big. It's so big that if you try for work, I say from the top end to the end of from the beginning of the grounds, outside the ground, they start till they come towards the end. It will take you a minimum of 45 minutes work. That's how far it is from the main road to the football grounds itself. And all this area, not like a empty space. So there's space then they can be utilized a bit more than you expect, so you're able to utilize them. So loan or fail for realize, say this is an investment that might be lucrative within the next couple of years if they take them seriously as a nation. So if we look at some of the other developmental structures then within they put inside the country in terms of adding more value to the country's economy, especially for the sake of the Afcon, is huge. There is a huge amount of road network they happen currently as we speak, and then road network. Well, to me, my opinion, I will call Abidjan the city of road network. Massive road network now I don't come across, and possibly if you put Abidjan together to Freetown, it's likely, I would say, maybe way above 5 or 6 times the size of Freetown is what Abidjan is, possibly even more than that. And the reason I say so, that because when you look at the road infrastructure that we take for granted in civilian, is massive. When I say massive, the minimum lanes there you get per roads inside the city, now like a 2. And when I say 2 minimum, it means that there will be like 4 lane over here where they can go 2 back and forth. Then you know the extra 4 on the other side where they go back and forth. Then you get flyovers there, you know, like a piece of cake. For every 10 or 15 minutes drive where you drive, you see like a 2 or 3 flyovers. Again, with the struggle for building Lunge Bridge, I've seen bridges, man. And why I say I don't see bridge, this is my first time to Ivory Coast, and I'm not going to say for the fact this is my first time now because everything what I see is spectacular. Yes, to the standard of Africa, it is spectacular. And when you look at the bridges, the way they're not constructed within the past couple of years, maybe or very recently, and then still they're on construction. When I say still they're on, the amount of construction work they're on right now inside some areas of Abidjan, I feel that it will be the entire amount of construction which sometimes Salon puts together for roads only. Possibly even more than that, safe. Because then they still build channels of road network connecting one end to the other. You might be heading this direction, and then you want to head towards the left direction as you're going towards in front of you. You just go through some kind drive-by down the right, where you go find like some massive being roundabout where they take you in the next direction for head to side. You go quite different. So I say, to my own opinion, this na city of road network, na the African countries then first where I don't go. Morocco is perfect in terms of, well, I go say Rabat is one of the most cleanest African countries that I've been to. Rabat, that's the second city of Morocco. Of course, Marrakesh, again, at the touristic side of Casablanca, not in the old Morocco. So, road network where I go see in Morocco was good, but this one I don't see in Abidjan is perfect, is brilliant, for possibly even better than some European countries there. Of course, Rabat in possibly better past beaucoup European countries there with something I don't visit or with something like I don't know about. And then when you look at Cameroon self also get a very good road network system where I feel to say they self don't work on very well, although you know reach to Ivory Coast standard, but they self they do very well on road construction and road network system back in self great because then roads them massively big and wide. But the amount of road network I don't see now, so within the shortest period of time, I haven't even traveled that much around now for just one destination to the next. Number of us I don't do. And the road network I don't see is unbelievable true. If anybody they work in a salon, possibly gets influence in government, come for can see how for develop road network in Sierra Leone, you go shame for go back because you no be able for compare nothing to what in we don't see for see go on for start for do na salon. Within the kind of structure of what we get in a salon, it's a very small place to work on. Not that difficult to work on, but a huge amount of sacrifices have to be made. Sometimes maybe if we want to forget proper road network, some houses have to go. And I don't know if it's the civil government ready for pay for their houses, then they possibly relocate people in a better side or get them a better deal with something their house go what possibly demolished. And that's not what they do in Guinea. And Guinea saved this guy for work seriously hard on their road network. It's about football, so I just to get myself carried away and talk about things that we I feel to say we for look at under the same infrastructure of what you do related to sports. Then make I just bring a few examples of what in them are they say so right now in terms of road network. So said all of these things, then why don't say so? Don't not forget say the main purpose of voting make I feel to say Ivory Coast don't focus on a huge amount of road network. Now because of maybe encouraging people to be able to go to these games without even thinking of where get traffic, just for create that kind of small tension we will go away from the chaos of transporting people from one point to the next. So what they do, they get a junction spot where cars don't go into those areas anymore. You park your car, you left and then you get for Waka, like almost 45 minutes for get to the stadium grounds. Maybe there are other entrances in various different other areas then, but the main access where we can through was that's the distance. So when the game starts, when I don't collect my accreditation and ask questions, so how do I get to the grounds, what happened? And so, oh no, you get for campus now the media center. Then from the media center, then they put on a coach, and then the coach they drive now all the way go to the stadium. I'm like, wow, okay. But I begin wonder, okay, me say no go before drive myself go there or take taxi. No, I think that was one of the best things that they did for the media personnel. So we were ushered in, then pick way up from the media center, we then call Akwaba Media Center, because the slogan for this particular tournament is Akwaba. A little bit confusing because Akwaba, as I know, sounds like a Ghanaian word, but I don't know how it relates to Ivory Coast. Maybe there is a link with Ivory Coast in Ghana. We make the word Akwaba become very much popular for me to use them as one of the slogan. I think Akwaba in Ghanaian or Twi means welcome also. So maybe they get some kind of link. But that's another point of discussion maybe later on in the program. So like I say, collect accreditation, watch the first game, thinking, wow. The games then don't become very much interesting. The one they were not watching, the one they were watching online or watching on TV. The country, yes, is full of enthusiasm. People are happy about the games. People are going about their business. You see a huge amount of Ivorians, they wear their replica t-shirts, their vests, then Ivory Coast supports them with billiards, then flags. Everything is just all over the place. So basically, there's a lot of support for Ivory Coast as a nation for hosting these tournaments. I don't know what's the kind of support in other countries participating in the tournament, but I think for Ivory Coast, it shows a huge amount of enthusiasm from the people of Ivory Coast in terms of supporting their country in this particular competition. But again, I expect say you have a lot of surrounding neighboring countries then really close to Ivory Coast where I feel to say will be cheaper for them for can watch the games and watch the entire tournament itself. But unfortunately, I didn't see a huge amount of support base of the neighboring countries then we surround Ivory Coast. We will cost them that much. They can even drive coming to Ivory Coast instead of flying. They can take coaches them come. So I did not see that huge amount of network surrounding Ivory Coast for me and able for come for participate. But then again, like I say, that is something really down for discussion. I don't know what's not the reason behind it, but it might be something totally different from what we see. So I will say, let's leave that for another discussion. Yeah. And when you now look at the real element of the game itself, they begin wonder how the game they affect the people in the Ivory Coast, when they support Ivory Coast. There is no friction, apart from the same way Ivory Coast, of course, lost to Equatorial Guinea. No friction at all. On the pitch, it was challenging, it was physical, it was a little bit aggressive at some point, but on the stands, it was brilliant. And when I watch Guinea, Senegal, Yamoussoukro, I'm thinking, okay, how comes we get two supporting teams, then they next to each other, then in the middle of them there is a neutral amount of fan base. It was very interesting. Where this they beating the drum, this they beating the drum. So you can hear constant drumming from start to finish, apart from halftime. Constant drumming, non-stop. And when I say constant drumming, now like a stand or two, maybe 3 or 4 in various different areas. Then they drum constantly, and these are supporters of the various different countries they really play. But when Guinea and Senegal they play, the drum will not stop for beats. So I've not been also for listening to it. You listen to this, you listen to that, you listen to like 4 different groups of drummers. Some they get live PA with speaker, some they get the beat box, some they get just different. But it was quite nice. It gives you another atmosphere of enjoyment where they happen with the fans, the way they support the team, then watch the team they play. And even when you get towards the end of it, where you think, say, okay, this team they lost, but the fan base couldn't drop down. No. Now until the referee blow the last whistle, and they tell you they see the drums, then all silence, boom, like an automatic switch off. All thing on go. So that's the other interesting element of the game. The support fan base was huge. I would say compared to Cameroon, yes, possibly slightly more at some points. What I would say slightly more at some point, because in Cameroon, now the Cameroonian squad, yes, few more other countries they move with and supporting. But of course, Salome get and supporters the way they say fly with scam. That was what I was expecting a lot more in various different countries. They're really very close to Ivory Coast, because like Cameroon to Sierra Leone is quite a distance. But we're able to fly in possibly a jet or a whole plane full of supporters then, which was quite good. And again, you might say it's a waste of resources, but not necessary, because I think that helps the country to perform well in so many different cases, especially when it gets a huge amount of supporting base way dinner they stand for gear them up towards the game. So supporters here, when we don't see, it's brilliant. Quite happy with the support fan base of the various different countries that we don't come. I think one way Africans have not been getting much support, I don't know whether they were not around or they choose not to come, was Congo. No, not Congo, Angola. They were playing their last match against Guinea-Bissau. Is it Guinea-Bissau? But then they played the last game, so basically they did not have enough. They don't even get support base. They may get few. I think we are seeing now at the end of the match, but then within next to the presidential stand, maybe just about 10 or 15 of them, so you couldn't actually hear their voices that much. But it's very interesting for no say there was a huge amount of support base all around and supporters then be there for support then country. Of course, the Arabs were full of supporting fan base, because then this guy would then supporters them in hundreds, and they know they kind of discriminate man, woman, pikin, mama, papa, they all go. And that's what I think, that's what it should be really, because it's not football, and football needs that sort of support base. But the first few games, there was a struggle, because I don't know exactly what was the reason behind the struggle. Maybe, well, CAF said they had some issues with the ticket distribution or ticket sales or whatever might be the situation. The stands were empty. Can you imagine Nigeria, they played their first match of the African Nations Cup? You get possibly not even half capacity of the stadium. I think that was not what everybody was expecting. I think that didn't go down well with CAF as well, so they had to change strategies. And the strategies then wouldn't change, it work at some point, because again, after that first 1 or 2 matches, we now begin to see a huge amount of supporters then showing up for the games that we play. Although some of them were disgruntled after the game, but that is obvious. But again, that shows how much passion people have for the game. And the game don't show, say, it brings people together, and it also divides them, but not for long, because then get for meet back again. So that form of unity will get for calm. But this particular tournament gets a huge amount of rivalry with countries that we sometimes feel say better past the other. And the reason for this rivalry, now something we don't happen possibly time immemorial. And that's not thing we then they look at now say, well, how can we come together and fix this problem we don't get as a nation in terms of what we do culturally, or what affects us as a nation, and what thing they make we possibly better than the others. So this has always been the situation for many countries that we are free to say get involved in this particular tournament, but at the same time get a lot for gain than for lose when it gets to certain areas of the competition, because the style of the competition right now, so not the most difficult part of the competition is when are the knockout stages. And the knockout stages, they show say it is not survival of the fittest. It is not the best team that wins. To me, I think the knockout stages, they show the team will possibly get, what's not the right word? The team will get the guts for continue the competition and make sure say then get to the bottom of it, not necessarily to be the best team on the day, but the team will get the potential for possibly win that match. Naim will be the team where you will possibly outrightly say that the best team for this particular game we play. So the knockout stages are the very important stages then. So I go on for make we possibly now go down to the games then we don't play and then just talk few things about them. So if you're not a fan of any of the games that we don't play or any of the teams that we don't play or the country games until you support one, you want to say something, please send me some comments on the chat so I'll be able to talk about your comments and then we'll be able to talk about a few more things as well as we go along. But what we don't see so far in this particular tournament are the fact say most of the countries that will be expected will be serious contenders then for the tournament. I will not say have failed, but they haven't been able to perform to the best of their ability in so many different ways. Reason for that is possibly known to their management or their managers or the people who are responsible to manage them. And when you look at them particular team, then you will begin find out, say, well, okay, why this country not perform well this time? Is it because of X, Y, Z, or now because they feel to say they have the best team, so they don't need to worry? But what you also back we don't see that the fact that this tournament don't cause a lot of casualties with managers, then way some resign, some of them don't sack, some of them jump before they sack them. But that's not part of the competition because you get for the expect thing like this for happen because nobody not go glad for me then just kind of beat them in a tournament and then enable for do much at all because then they expect everybody for perform well. And if you know how you perform to the best of your ability and then believe say you capable for perform to the best of your ability but you not deliver for them in that particular capacity, then they might choose to maybe replace you. Some of them diligently decide for move on and say, well, okay, I cannot do this no more. I need to take a back seat because I've done the best I can in my capacity. Like somebody else can take them from this other end and then making take me on break and possibly move on to something totally different with something I go on for use for challenge myself. So that has what has been the situation in Ivory Coast. But cool casualty they don't happen. But if we go back to the competition, we will realize say most of the things that we happen at the competition, they were supposed to happen. Where I say they were supposed to happen, now the fact say yes, the games them play, the country they will be they expect say for win certain games there, maybe not win them game then they not mean say them team they're not capable enough, or not mean say them team then they not get the potential, but they were not just good enough on the day. That is possibly what I would say. They were not just good enough on the day. And if they were that good enough on the day, then it would have been a different scenario for what we really expect. So let's go back to the group stages then and see the games that we play, the country that we win the game, then the country that we qualify, and how they qualify and how many points they make. So basically we have some killer groups then groups and they call them killer group because the group that will be the serious tough time now this particular tournament. Group A now one and then group C now another one. We get serious contenders then win our proper arch rivals then. Group A, the arch rivalry within our group A, you get Nigeria, Ivory Coast, well not much to Guinea-Bissau and Equatorial Guinea. They are rivals on their own turf as well, but Nigeria and Ivory Coast are very strong rivals. So we know for say that are like a serious issue. Group B not get too much of rivalry because we know say Egypt has always been a dominating country when it comes to football, especially from the Arab states. The other group, winner Group C, again gets a strong amount of rivalry with our neighboring Senegal. Of course, Cameroon also now a very strong contender within the rival with Senegal for quite some time. And then you get Guinea and Gambia, where they are all neighbors. So this to me have been the death group. We been get serious amount of rivalry. We belongs to them 4 people in there because now the region they within there, and that's now the challenges they with them they face. Now Group C. Then Group D now, of course, you get the Central Africa and North Africa competition, because the Central African countries, then, honestly speaking, I think they have proven to be possibly the best group for this particular tournament. Central Africa and some amount of South Africa. But yes, Group D gets Angola, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Algeria. And unfortunately, most of the Arab states that we would expect, say, for perform well in this competition are already out. And then you get Group E. Of course, Mali not in serious competition with South Africa because they are quite far from each other and they're not get that kind of rivalry. Maybe South Africa and Namibia, yes, they have some amount of rivalry because they are all in that same region, and the competition level go all around the COSAFA League, where now the Confederation of South African Football Organization, they always get tournaments where they happen year in, year out. So I would expect that form of rivalry there na South Africa with Namibia. Of course, Tunisia and Mali might have knocked heads together a few times in African Nations Cup competitions, either at the finals or preliminary stages, but not much at the preliminary stages, but maybe at the finals in some areas of the first round or quarterfinals or knockouts. Then, of course, Group F, not much of a contending side, as we think. Hopefully, in the initial start, we will all see Morocco will be the dominant country in that particular group. They will nobody expect Congo, DR, of course, Zambia, who know for say they have a good record in African football, but not till now. But back in the days, of course, the likes of Kalusha Bwala and a few more others, we know say Zambia may get a very good team. Tanzania, not much of a team where you go see say go be a full contender for this particular tournament. So the 2 super qualifiers, them now the 2 groups, them now all the groups them we don't see so far. Of course, Equatorial Guinea win that group day, then get 7 points, followed by Nigeria 7 points, but then get goal difference where Equatorial Guinea gets against Nigeria. So that is one of the reasons why then they're at the top of that particular group day, and then Nigeria can second. Of course, Ivory Coast had 3 points, and then they also wait for see what's going to happen at the other games then for make themselves qualify. So they were out of the tournament, and they were hoping. This is the first time I have seen a host nation hoping to qualify as one of the best runners then in the group. So for make that happen, if you realize say this is very difficult for the games to have the same momentum as it almost come towards the end of it. So what thing would they expect now the worst? And why I say they expect the worst? No one for me the tournament not reach to this particular stage now, and then we realize say, oh, Ivory Coast is not going to be part of it no more. That would have been one of the biggest upsets, maybe likely, in Afcon competition. I think few countries then they don't host, we don't come out of the competition in the first round. But I know say defending defending champions, they don't come out now first rounds of the competition a few times. We are possibly aware of, but not a host nation, which is a bit challenging, or I will not say scary, because at the end of the day, if you not perform well, then of course you not deserve for go to the next stage. But what thing I feel to say happened to me, my own opinion with Ivory Coast, now the fact say they had a manager who was with them, we don't struggle with them for quite some time, and our manager they don't do very well with them. So I see no reason why you would just come and change this manager overnight just because you feel to say you disagree with 1 or 2 things where they say. That was a concern for me. And the manager take them to the last Afcon, where happened at Cameroon, and they managed for go up to quarterfinals and then lost to Egypt on penalties. That was not a bad result for come back home. And then Una gets for host the next African Nations Cup. Una they go start from scratch with a new manager where they can build a fresh new team. You only have a couple of months to settle, because within that first 6 months after the tournament, much is not happening. Now the take will begin scout for players and for see which player they bring in and which player they drop. So that is a distraction for me as far as I'm concerned. That was a huge mistake. They would have just stayed with the manager, if they get any differences, they settle the differences, they move on. After the competition, if they think they don't need it anymore, yes, they can replace them. But you need to kind of replace manager in a competition where you get with the camp. We don't deal with the team for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden, you switch onto somebody where they can start from scratch. I think that was a big mistake, but I don't know would I give them that advice there. But that advice is if they look at them closely, therefore realize now, say it was a wrong move. All right, let's go to Group B. We get Cape Verde, Egypt, Ghana, and Mozambique. We nobody expects Cape Verde definitely for leading at this particular group, because we know for say the level of football is not bad, because over the past couple of years they have improved greatly, and they don't improve in their footballing DNA. Bringing that into play, now the fact say they have been grooming these set of players that they have right now for the past 5 years. And they have been consistent with these players. And then players that are supposedly don't train together, they don't live together, they don't in academies together. Then practically, fairly, they play at the same club together. So they understand each other very well. And they've been together for quite some time. So like they build them up from scratch. And you expect them now to deliver, because this is possibly a 10 years program where then country also don't start. Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, not much to Mozambique, but Central African countries, Cape Verde, Equatorial Guinea, few more. They have been working on this, Guinea-Bissau, they have been working on this for the past 10 years. So I am not really surprised to see their performance don't go so high, because there are some things they don't work on, or some things they don't build. They not just start them no more yesterday. Then build on them, and then maintain the structure and maintain the players. So there is the DNA system in their system of football where they're able to understand everything about how the game they play in their own hemisphere. And when it comes to African competition, I will not be surprised to see some of these countries representing us in the next World Cup to come, because it gets to be very tough for other nations then for breakthrough. Because when you watch the zone, then they deal with more of the Arab countries, and they qualifying zone. Now the region and the one in this, so they're not can come much now we don't end for face each other for like any kind of knockout series when it comes to World Cup. Then they get their own section where they deal with their own and get their own representation there, and then we self get to West Africa and North Africa and a few more other areas in Africa where they combine, and then we self get to and then we qualify from this end. So that now one thing we are not going to be surprised at, but Cape Verde did extremely well in this tournament so far at the first round, and then give Egypt run for their money. Egypt's qualified at fair margin, and then they expect see even Cape Verde for get possibly more points on this particular game. Can you imagine Cape Verde gets 7 points, Egypt get 3? That was a massive struggle for country like Egypt with Salah playing for them and the captain. And not to just Salah, but I think they have very good players in that Egyptian team. But again, like I say, the Cape Verdeans have been together for quite some time, and they understand the DNA of the football within this guy for play right now. Ghana, of course, is a disappointing side, and then Steph, I'm not going to say it's a bad side, but I think what happened with the Ghanaian team now, consistency of goal scoring abilities, then we have to say then lacks more. And to me, my opinion, there were two specific players that I highlighted. I think the number 13 guy and number 15. I see people, 25. I see people talking about this Aldu guy, or what's his name, we win man of the match by one of the games that we didn't play. But to be honest, there are two specific players that were working their socks off for him. And when I say working their socks off for him, they were doing all the dirty work. They have a number 9, well, supposed to be a striker, and that guy didn't like a jack. When I say jack, they run the pitch from one end to the next, and he has the ability and potential. So he was just doing all the dirty work for this Ghanaian guy within the praise, now one of the best players. Of course, the Ayu brothers, I think it's about time for them to give way now to national football, especially Andre. Jordan, to me, it gets in your kind of who are we, I feel to say gets is not too much of a player where you go rate to that extent, but he delivered. The 2 penalties that we score on that day, we then draw 2-2. You were expecting that to happen, but I was not expecting Ghana for draw that match day, because it was a win-win situation for them for qualify automatically. That means Egypt no for don't qualify at all if them for win that game day. I don't understand how you were 2-0 up with penalties being given to you, and then 6 minutes of extra time being added. To me, you lost the match. I think that was disastrous. It is not a dedicated combination of players that were willing for do or die. I mean, this competition don't show we see there are certain players who don't give a toss about what they do. They just come and participate and go. And I feel say representing your country is one of the biggest things you for always value in your life, because you may not have that opportunity to do it again. And you're having a country that have millions of football players, and then they select you for country. You give you blood, you test everything. Sometimes you wonder why make the Americans they die for the American flag. Because that's what they believe in. They believe in the American flag, so they will die for it. But Africans don't do stuff like that. Again, if you, well, somebody make a comment, maybe I kind of will agree to that person a little bit, but I'm not too sure whether that will be 110%. We say, if you're not born in the country, you not play football in the country, you not grow up there, you need to see the value of what it means for represent your country. What thing will make I not go agree with the 110%? Now, because there are times when you might agree, disagree, or say yes or say no to certain things the way you possibly feel to say you want to do for represent your country, but at the same time, you still give 110%. And there are times when you might not have the opportunity to play for the countries when maybe until you're born, and then you take your country of your parents as second choice. Those are the players I have concerns over. But the player, the way they put the parental country then first as first option, I think they know what it means to represent their country of origin. Whether it's the country of origin, countries are parents then come out. And we don't see a lot of letdown from the African countries them as well, where they reject some of them players there. So we're willing for can play for them country when they're younger, but they need to give them the opportunity. Then they wait now until they play and don't become superstars. That's the time they are chasing them. But nobody wants to be chased when you now know you're a superstar. You dictate where you want to go now, because you know for sure you have the potential, you have the ability, you can decide where to go. And if you decide which side to go, they give you more, I will not say credibility in football, but it gives you more kind of opportunities to win things. I'm not saying if you represent your country, you may not win nothing, but if you represent an African country, maybe the closest you could come to win anything nationally or internationally might be the African Nations Cup. Well, maybe the World Cup, but that is quite very much impossible at some point. Except we don't see football change now. It's kind of revolutionize the fact say we should be able to get all African players, regardless where you were born, to represent the country of their fatherland or motherland. But that's questionable. Again, you can't force people to represent a country that they don't want to represent. They have to make a choice. So let's move on. Now to Group C. Group C, now the dead zone, we'll get Senegal, Cameroon, Guinea, and Gambia. Of course, Senegal dominates that group there with 9 points, and Cameroon, themselves, I would say, sluggishly qualified at the 11th hour against Gambia. But again, Cameroon show the kind of courage we forget in a competition. This is not a competition. And when you're playing a tournament, yes, you might have a bad patch in the initial start of the tournament. But what team we don't always see for a tournament, the team, the way they get bad starts, that they can actually rise up to the occasion when it gets to the knockout series. And it's 10 luck they follow there. So I will not be surprised if two countries then where they can possibly IMAC will end up either at the final or the semi-final of this particular tournament. Reason being, they are not underdogs. Then a country that we sabi for play competition. They will struggle at the initial stage where they can get themselves to quarterfinals, semi-finals, or final. And then particular country, that's why they make mention to now Ivory Coast and Cameroon. So I will not be surprised if Ivory Coast or Cameroon end up either semi-final or final, one panel, two team there, so as the competition they evolve. So let's keep an eye on them, because it will be very nice for know what will be the outcome of Ivory Coast and Cameroon after this weekend. Now that will determine whether they may take the next stage. But it will be nice for Ivory Coast go, because it means the country will still be lively, things will still be happening, and the environment will still be warm. It's not going to be as cool as it was a couple of days ago where Ivory Coast lost to Equatorial Guinea. So that's another disaster. But again, the disaster was meant to happen based on the fact that the Ivorians were not much prepared for that particular game. Because again, well, I don't want to talk the rights worldwide as Philippines are supposed to say, because it will be controversial. But we all don't see how competition they happen now, this part of the world or all over the world. Host nation hardly lost game, win a must-win game at the 11th hour. If they are totally bad, then okay, I go understand. But that's because it's not a totally bad team anyway. They have a couple of good players, but I think as a squad, they don't have a big squad. When I say they don't have a big squad, they don't have a big squad with household names in football all over the world right now. They have a big squad with names of young players. They come into the big team. So like we don't know these players. We don't know them by name. We don't know them for represent bigger clubs in Europe or in America or at the Italian league or the Premiership or the Dutch league or the German league or the French league. Then they, but not even the bigger clubs than we would expect, say, go deal with top African players who play top flight football. Like we know Ivory Coast within the past, I would say the 10 years ago, Ivory Coast is not the same Ivory Coast right now, because 10 years ago, you have star-studded 11, like the Ivorian team, from the Premier League, Italian league, Spanish league, French league, Dutch league, German league. So you have full top flight footballers then they play for the top country, then they represent Ivory Coast. But that has changed. But anyway, I need to turn them down. I need to look down on them, because they can change the elements of competition when they reach to this particular stage, when I did this right now. So yes, those group C, you get Senegal will qualify, Cameroon follow suit, and they get Guinea will also qualify marginally, because they self get 4 points and then qualify as one of the best people that will get points them for go to the next knockout stage. Of course, Gambia go out. Gambia don't try very well, because they then gets double back-to-back representation, this particular Afcon and the one we happen at Cameroon. So that's a good result for them, because the Gambian team hasn't been performing well for the past 10 years. They have not even been winning games. But since then, using a new manager, he can't change the game of football. He bring players, then we possibly nobody ever thinks they for can play for Gambia. So that's the advantage I'm talking about earlier on. The one that we want for can play, we nobody get the opportunity, not get the option. But this guy able to bring them together. He called and say, I can't play for Nakonski because when I get for play for Nakonski, that's the only option you guys have. But you can change your mind if you choose to. But I think he gets able to attract a huge amount of them. Although I don't see most of the players they will play na Cameroon Afcon, but I think they maintain some of the other one the way appeal to deal with this squad. The squad changed slightly. It's not the same squad where they use now Afcon Cameroon. But I don't understand how teams then they change teams so drastically just within the space of 2 years. I know say player might not be in their best form, but national level, yes, player they get for the play top flight football for me and play for the national team. But at the same time, sometimes you need to maintain the structure of the team. I think 2 years is too short for you to have that drastic change in the formation of your team, provided you have a different manager where you get to look at different things or which kind of system you want for play. Sometimes the players are not able to match up to that system. That might be the challenges maybe. Otherwise, I don't think it makes sense to make that drastic change in management structures where you only get 2 years for like you get to the African Nations Cup tournaments where they happen in South Africa. So let's move on. Now we get Group D, where Angola, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Algeria. Like I say, I watched Angola played against Burkina Faso, and it was a very interesting match. Burkina Faso have all the opportunities to score, but now like a way you shoot blank gun. You dey shoot, but you need to fire bullets. Person need to die. Now they sit. Now the way that they how Burkina Faso they play. The first 20 minutes was then done Angola, chased them up and down, had a couple of chances, but they went for turn Arsenal for card till they reach inside the 18 before they score. And that really happened at this kind of level of football right now. If you cannot change the game at the initial start, then it's going to be very difficult. So basically, I'm not going to say they not do well, but I think they could have performed a bit better than the way how they performed, because Angola getting run for their money. So I'm not surprised that Angola actually topped that particular table, because their performance was great. And even when you watch Mauritania against Algeria, it was also a struggle. Algeria did everything possible for me to win that game, because maybe if they don't win the game, they may be able to qualify with about 4 or 5 points. But it was rather unfortunate. They did everything possible. And one of the Arab countries, they don't go out of the competition. So it's going to be a struggle, because you get Mauritania, we also qualify. Again, interestingly, they say qualify. So this is going to be Central Africa and South Africa / West Africa competition. Very interesting. But we could look out for the Central African countries then, because they are going to be one of the surprising packages of this tournament. I will not be surprised if one panel win the tournament, but they also get very good West African team that we know how to compete by these tournaments. Well, this weekend will be a very challenging period, because we get forget 1 or 2 of them we get for go, and the 1 or 2 of them we get for go are likely winners of this tournament. Then favorites them always for win the Afcon tournament. But football and football, when they don't draw you with 2 big nations, you don't have a choice. One has to go and one get for stay. That's not the element of the game. Somebody get for win. Whether they play for money internet, somebody still get for win. Whether they kick 11, 11, 12, 12, 15, 15 penalties, somebody still get for win. And the game must come to an end. So we wait for this weekend for make we see that kind of challenges then they will get for happen. And then we'll be able to know exactly whether we will begin pin points now, who that will be the winner of this particular tournament. So then at Group D, we will get Angola, Burkina Faso, Mauritania, and Algeria. Algeria is automatically out. Then I will go to Group E. Group E again is not a bad zone. You get Mali, South Africa, Namibia, and Tunisia. Again, one of the Arab countries in back we don't give way, because again, I don't know what happened with the Arab countries this particular time around. Even last Nations Cup, they struggle a bit. Now Egypt not able to maintain in Morocco. They're able to maintain no more to that far, especially with Egypt, because it was quite difficult for make you see Arab countries that only go out of the tournament at the first round of the tournament. Very scary, because if you look at Tunisia and Algeria, these are winners of this tournament. They're not winners. Algeria are the previous winners them for the one with the defending champions them for the one way they host now Cameroon. They not even qualify first rounds. And now back again, they don't qualify first round. They've been out of the tournament. So there is some serious issue where they possibly go on now the Arab nation, then we don't know what it is, but their footballing ability has dropped a little bit. You know, like the way how it been like before. Even Egypt is surprising for Lake Dende that this competition right now, because they're not supposed for the associate, because they struggle for deal with the team they're waiting at the group. So maybe we will get for know what's not the issue, but the Arabs are not much. They're not performing very well over the past couple of years in African football. I don't know whether they're losing interest in football, but in female football inside they grow, but for the men them, they look like they struggle small. Morocco don't maintain for some time. Egypt self now the other one we don't maintain for some time, but in the struggle right now. I don't know what's the reason, but they haven't been performing well at all. So therefore keep an eye on the Arab countries then. Maybe sometime more information will come out about their performance and why they are performing the way they are performing. So yes, Mali come first and that group with 5 points. Again, this is not the group we get the least points for qualification, 5. So can you imagine? You get 5 points even for qualifying on top of that particular group. It means that a lot did not happen. A lot did not happen at all. So each team therefore win 1-1 in draw 2, some lost, some. So there were so many draws in this particular match. So now one of the zone then we, to me, possibly not the weakest, because again, it means that this group is very tough. But they managed for able to get 5 points, win at Mali, and they don't qualify, top of that table, and then South Africa follows through. South Africa have a very good side. Don't get me wrong, they're very good and determined. And I watched them against Namibia, and no, against Mali. Was it Mali? But they were very much determined. When I say determined, very determined. And they have very dedicated players. We are free to say, prove their money's worth. And not a team where they just overlook for now, because the tournament don't get to the stage now where now the best team on the day now they win. Not to the best team on paper, now the best team on the day, because the league set off and done. Now win-win situation. You're not getting nothing for lose. So you get for Paul team. If one man get for go wait for the next game, as long as we go to the next stage, do it. That is possibly what this particular stage of the competition get for Tanlek now, where nobody is taking any chances at all. Now we'll go to Group F. When at the last group, we get Morocco, DR Congo, Zambia, and Tanzania. Like I say, Morocco supposed to dominate this group, but I think they were faced with huge setback against Congo and possibly Zambia. Zambia was not lucky enough, but I think the kind way how Morocco play Congo, it just shows how determined these Central African countries are. And then all in the region of that new DNA where we talk about. Tanzania save the inside. Zambia, of course, don't they develop their own, and then save they look at way how then they look at things and then see possibly what they can do to make few changes. So I would say that particular area they themselves they try, but Morocco dominates that particular group there, and they are also a force where you get for look forward to, because you might not know exactly what will be the balance in the knockout stages of what in the non-gets. But so far so good, they still stand a chance for walk past whichever country way then they play against who they can to next. So I go on for say thank you guys for watching and for listening. I know for say this is going to be not too long program today. Reason being that because I know like we dwell on them that long, we just want to give analysis and they will talk about the games and talk about the teams and we possibly go predict say might win the competition. So I look forward to your comments and thank you very much, Mustafa, for joining us. And yes, I know CDC, thanks for the updates, and definitely if I can do more, I will. I was supposed to have some guys on board today, but I struggle with the connection for get them on, so I decide for send my apologies to these guys, and then I will call them later on, and we might do a proper one where I will not be controlling from my own end, maybe by this weekend. And by the way, I'm supposed to be going live on Saturday with the Nigerian game. When I start to go live, not to the game, but I go live on the pitch, and I will be able to possibly run some commentary whilst the game is on. But there is going to be a live camera on me whilst the game will be on. So that is going to be an interesting match, and a match that I feel to say everybody they look forward to, especially the one that we get hopes for take this competition to the next level. So let's move on. And now we're moving on to this summary overall. I think the team to watch are the teams that you might think will not perform well in this tournament, and then the team that we for free. So quick wrap-up review of what's don't make the news. Now, a few things them right now we have to say very important for local talk about. One are the fact say then gets couple of coaches then we either they don't sack or don't decide for left the team or don't decide for resign or whichever way it is. But yes, we don't get about 4 or 5 casualties of the tournament so far. Tunisia, the head coach Jalel Kadri don't step down from his position after the woeful performance we I feel say he gets for this 2023 campaign. Again, like I say, Tunisia hasn't been doing well, so basically he gets right for step down because he believes he don't let the country down. That is what you call integrity in football or integrity in human beings. When you know you haven't delivered and you haven't performed to the best of your ability, there's nothing wrong with you stepping down. At least you stepping down with honor than you being actually sacked. So that's now one of the casualties they wouldn't get with managerial sackings or resignation. Second one, the Gambian coach again, Tom Seinfeld, resigns after Afcon 2023, exits again. He's been with the team for about 5 years or so, and it don't make Gambians them don't feel so proud of themselves for represents the African Nations Cup back to back, and it don't also give Gambia the courage for win certain games then, because Gambia don't be the win game then they go no more Afcon. Well, the no go is this not the very first Afcon. We didn't go for the second time. We didn't go back to back. So the last one we didn't gonna be the first time, and then they go back again. So that means they've been consistent. But like I say, the team don't change small. Most of the players they want to see na Cameroon Afcon and not be able to foresee they're all again at this squad. So the squad slightly changed. So that might have been one of the reasons why the team not performed to the best of their ability. They were defending well, but it seems to be a little bit weak in certain areas. So, well, it's a good decision we Tom make, but I think it will affect the team somehow because they have relied on him for quite some time now. So, but then get for go start from somewhere. That's obvious. So basically, you not get for determined for the day forever. You will get for go one day. Then the second casualty, the third one, now Chris Hutton, we now being the technical director for the Ghanaian national team, Ghana Black Star, and he take the Ghana Black Star to the World Cup as a technical director. But unfortunately, the manager what them gets, the Ghanaian guy, he decided to go back Borussia Dortmund, Osai Iwinde as a coach. So he's saying not be able to continue with the level of African football. Not to say the level of African football bad, but he wants to be consistent in his coaching, so he decided to go back to Borussia Dortmund and drop off the managerial position na Ghana Black Star. So automatically, Chris Hutton became the manager because Naina be the technical director. He had a technical team there to build the Ghanaian team from scratch. Again, there is a history to say he gets background roots from Ghana, so he decided to go back home. He's been there for a couple of years now, roughly about 4 or 5 years, where he resigned for manage teams them in the Premiership in London. But he was quite a good manager then, but again, African football is different. Like I said, he too was finding it very challenging because you don't know the structures, the way things are. So he learned a lot of stuff then. So I feel to say, sacking him right now, I think was not a good idea. Even though maybe you might think he didn't do well, but he took the team to the World Cup. Again, he took the team to Afcon. So basically, he was doing something right. Maybe they not get prolific strikers them for the timing. But I think the Ghanaian team gets a huge amount of politics behind the scene where possibly we need to see. Maybe that get to do with the way the game is on the pitch. And there was no kind of leadership at the pitch. As far as me concerned, there was no captain. And the only person who they dictate the game, will be they dictate what he feel for do was one specific player. My opinion was Jordan Ayew. Well, maybe because sometimes the son of Abidi Pele, when Kwame Ayew, but I will not say that's the reason specifically because I saw his body language even with his older brother Jordan. I mean, Andre, it wasn't that good for the second penalty. The guy who actually caused the penalty was supposed to be taking it, and you can see the discussion happening between them to say, I want to take it. And then Ayew, of course, picked up the ball. I mean, Andre picked up the ball from the corner post. Somebody was already there. Weka just took the ball, automatically he was a penalty kicker. I don't know whether that was decided before the match, because sometimes when the match not played, they can decide whether they take penalty, which kind of penalty it is. But I think his brother wanted to take it, and then there's another player who also wants to take the penalty, but I think he just dictated to them to say, I know what you want to see done in a medical ticker. So I think there was some element of leadership at the pitch, and that element of leadership, they make team perform well at all. So they have to go back to the drawing board and possibly look at the areas and see how best they will be able to manage the situation for they cannot get worse. Let me just have a quick water break. Now, mind you, Ivory Coast is extremely hot For those of you in the UK right now, when I go to feel the cool, I say the place cool, eh? Well, Ivory Coast, the one more. When I say one, me one, bing, 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 bing. So yeah, let's go back to the casualties. Yes, Chris Hughton of Ghana has been sacked. Sacked and sacked, and also resigned. Then you get Jean-Louis Gazette has been sacked again. The Ivory Coast manager. No, yes, the Ivory Coast manager. Again, like I don't highlight earlier on the reason why he shouldn't have been appointed anyway. And I'm not surprised why they didn't sack him now, because it was a big mistake to appoint him in the first place. So basically, they want to go back to the previous manager where they been get we then sack because of this particular guy. But I'll cancel Dandy after I done the list of the people and we then don't sack or we don't lost their job due to the fact that they not go at the next stage or then get issue with the team at this particular tournament. Tanzania also don't sack their manager. And then received 8-match ban for distasteful comments against Morocco at Afcon. It was automatic anyway, so with him, not just the fact say Tanzania sack him, but the fact say CAF ban him already before the tournament done because of the statements we make against Morocco. And the statements we make against Morocco is controversial actually. The statement was Morocco is the country that dictates African football. And for you make a statement like that, you have to be very sure of what you're saying. Even if you're sure, for somebody of your stature, you should not be making a statement like that. You can complain behind the scene. You can complain to CAF. You can make all your allegations to CAF directly, but not making a public statement that will put CAF into some kind of discomfort. CAF was not comfortable with that message at all, so they gave him an 8-match ban straight away. And then automatically, if they don't ban you manager for 8 games, automatically you know we will for continue the tournament with you. So Tanzania will get for Saka. So that's one of the other casualties that will happen at this particular tournament. So like I said earlier on, you get Ivory Coast. Don't go back to the old manager. Let them see if they will forget them for manage them for this particular end side of the tournament. But I think he's a French manager right now, so they're asking questions. I think no, they manage the French female football team. Yes, French female football team, because I saw him at the World Cup. So he's the manager for the French female football team. So Ivory Coast don't request for see if they can able to get him for manage the team for the rest of the competition. Maybe they might have him back again on a full-time basis or not, but I'm not too sure. But he has proven to be a very dedicated manager over the past couple of years, and he's been with Ivory Coast at some point as well. So he knows the structure of the team, and he might be able to deal with the problems that they have now. It would be good to have him, but that might or might not change anything at all. But it would be good to have somebody who believes in them and who possibly can change things around for them. And I would say good luck to them for that, and hopefully they'll be able to qualify. And if they qualify from the next stage, then it will come to that qualifying series of the next part of the competition. Wow, this is going to be an interesting one, because this particular side now is side where they determine who that get for take the mantle to the next stage of the competition. So far, we have 16 countries that have qualified for round 2 of the tournament. We're at the knockout stages, and these 16 countries they don't get na. They start from Equatorial Guinea, winner 1, Cape Verde 2, Senegal 3, Angola 4, Mali 5, Morocco 6, Nigeria 7, Egypt 8, Cameroon 9, Burkina Faso 10, South Africa 11, DR Congo 12, Cote d'Ivoire 13, Guinea 14, Namibia 15, and Mauritania 16. So now let's look at all the 16 countries and then think, who do you feel say possibly likely go win the Nations Cup? Good question. So thank you, Awun Pape. So what do you think say out of these 16 countries go win the Nations Cup? If you're watching, please send me your team. Send me the team where if you say they win if you watch, because at the beginning register people prediction now, so we'll come back to them later on. So if you can just type in at the chat box, or that you feel say out of these 16 countries, they also go win the Nations Cup. Make I call them again. And then if you get pen, please take pen, make you write, or check online, because the country, they all go there online as well. And they just call them back, and you tell me which one and then 16 countries there, so you feel say go win the World Cup. If you name the right country, oh, Alexine says Senegal. Okay, what should they do? The giveaway for this particular segment of the program. Now, the country where they name, if you win the Nations Cup, they buy you all the memorabilia while they come at the bring and come and find a way how I go hand them over to you. So we don't get the first person, we don't make in first prediction. Alex say Senegal. So Alex, I will record this down. I click like on them, so I know say I respond to you. So that's the way they come back to in the next couple of days. I'll be able to identify, say yes, now Alex will make that statement. They say Senegal. Well, Alex, I know for say you don't jump the background going for go for Senegal, because Senegal are the defending champion. But Senegal get a very tough match for play. But at the cancel that one day, I wouldn't probably say the win will definitely be a strange team. I won't probably, that's not an answer. You can't give me two country names, Senegal and Nigeria. No, I need one. So decide on which one you want for choose. No, can't give me two country names that you only can accept them. No, give me one. Just like way Alex don't say Senegal. You say get for be bold enough, either say Nigeria or Senegal. Well, if we get beaucoup Senegalese there now, then it will be a problem. Okay, I won't probably say Nigeria. Okay, I won't probably, I don't put like to you back as well. For register, say yes, I respond to your suggestion. For say Nigeria go win. So don't get two now, Senegal, Nigeria. So who is next? Please send me your comments or text for confirm whether you feel say they win. Interesting. Alhaji Ahmed say Nigeria. Okay, we don't get two Nigeria. Well, Alhaji, I will still say like on you as well, and for sure say I respond to your suggestion, and your prediction say Nigeria will win this particular Afcon. And if Nigeria win, or any country where you predict say they win, and they buy you all them full replica from Abidjan, and find a way how I go hand them over to you on we last show what they do, where I go return back to the UK. So but let the prediction they continue. Now I go back to the countries that we qualify. Equatorial Guinea, Cape Verde, Senegal, Angola, Mali, Morocco, Nigeria, Egypt, Cameroon, Burkina Faso, South Africa, DR Congo, Ivory Coast, Guinea, Namibia, Mauritania. Right. On an official platform, if you look at these countries then by their representation, you will be able to predict who is going to win it. And those predictions will come from these countries. Of course, Senegal will be one. Maybe Mali, not too sure, but Senegal is 110% go there among the first few countries that way you go top the charts for win this tournament. And then of course Morocco, self go there among the top countries that way you go predict say go win this tournament. Of course Nigeria. So those three, yes, you can predict that they can win. Pardon me, this tournament. Of course Cameroon, yes, you can predict for say Cameroon go win this tournament out of all teams. And Côte d'Ivoire. Of course, you can predict, say, Côte d'Ivoire, when Ivory Coast go win this tournament. So, I left Egypt out a little bit because Egypt hasn't been consistent so far. So, I will not put my money on Egypt if I was going to the bookies right now to bet for a country that is going to win this particular Afcon. Egypt will have a very low odds on them because their performance within the past couple of years hasn't been great. So they're not going to put a very good odd on them at all. Voting will be very good now for look we identify saying at the moment Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Ivory Coast are very strong contenders. Very strong contenders on paper for win this particular tournament. Reason being that because they have won it before, and they have the potential to even win it now, regardless of their performance, and then be able for deliver when they find it very difficult. But the only challenges that now we are faced with in this particular group, now the fact say you have the Central African countries who have performed extremely well in this competition, but still that not make them the favorite. And the reason maker they say so, now not so based on the bookies, their own kind of schedule they not make, then the way they not make, that the fact say, yes, they can perform to the best of their ability. Yes, we agree. They can get countries, they can upset countries, then we you need to expect say they will do that too. But what in them lack? What in them lack? Now the final element of the tournament discipline, then they lack. And I'm not going to talk say they will have developed it from the last Afcon to this one. No, they may have developed a lot of advantages in the way how they compete, but the final stages of the competition is what they haven't been proven to be good at. So let's look at these 5 countries the way I don't highlight. We are Senegal, Morocco, Nigeria, Cameroon, and Ivory Coast 4. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, these 5 countries. So out of these 5 countries, my own opinion, they have automatic rights based on their past records. But the reason we can need to take their past records for granted now because of what I want for can say next on the other elements of the discussion. Because when you look at what these countries have done over the past couple of years, they don't win these tournaments once, twice, 3 or 4 times with household names. So no doubt for say they are capable of doing it again. They have struggled sometimes in the initial beginning of the tournament, but when things get tough, they sabi for pull off their socks and deliver at the end of the day. So I will not rule them automatically out, and one of them might be the winner for this particular tournament. I will not be surprised if you get 2 of them within this particular group of 5 who are on call for end of the final. Now let's go to the Central African countries. Equatorial Guinea has proven to be the toughest side of them all. Reason being, not so because they beat Ivory Coast 4-0, because Ivory Coast beat them last Afcon, I think, now the knockout stages. So we not expect them to be at their top form when they get to the end of this tournament, because when we come to the draw, I will possibly explain the reason why. Maybe they will cross this next knockout stages, maybe. And after this next knockout stages, now the time now you see the country then we sabi for run this competition to the best of their ability, they perform to the best level. So now let's look at Cape Verde. Cape Verde says yes, they perform very well, they do very well in the group, but still they not get that extra oomph for take them to the next level. Same to Angola. Mali, of course, got a very young team. They still don't have that extra oomph that will take them to the next level. Egypt, of course, like I said, they struggle a little bit with their performance. It hasn't been great over the past couple of years. So that not they make them favorite at all. Of course, Nigeria, now one of the strongest favorites and get possibly the best striker in the world right now. We don't prove for score week in, week out. And I believe, say, he'll be able to take Nigeria out of any kind of difficult situation because he's a prolific striker that can score goals from any part of the pitch. So he is capable. That alone don't give them an extra edge for any country when they play against. Of course, Cameroon don't get their strikers them back in form. Abubakar don't fit for play the remaining rest of the tournament if they qualify for this next knockout to the other. So they have potential of bringing back energy into this particular tournament. So I will not doubt them at all. South Africa, maybe not. Themselves no will forget the energy for go beyond a couple of stages from this particular tournament. Of course, DR Congo again the same. But you need to knock them out outrightly because they might be capable of getting countries to be out of this tournament where I don't highlight so when I'm one of the 5 best. So look, I not just say they are not good enough. No, they are good enough. But I think the level of competition where sometimes there are other countries they don't go, they might haven't. And it is a learning curve for them to be able to go to the next stage and to the next stage and to the next stage. Now, like a process, we don't do that process line. You know what it is, you know how to deal with them, and you know how to maintain them. So with South Africa, DR Congo, Guinea, of course, get a very young team and not see them they cross any level from this level then they, because the country they get for play against get for dominates them with energy, strength, and everything because they are young players they then get. So I will not see those young players taking themselves to the next level of this particular competition because it's going to be very challenging for them. You can see the difference with the way they play against Mali. I mean, when they play against Senegal, say they struggle for dealing with the Senegal team, we as young as them, and possibly not too many old players around, but the few one they wouldn't get, give them serious run for their money. So playing against the opposition we don't get forget for these knockout stages, I don't see them passing through that knockout stages. So Guinea to me, except otherwise, well, this will be possibly the end of the road for them. They've got a very good team that they can build on for the next couple of years to come, which is not bad. Of course, Namibia, I did not watch much of their games, but I watch it online, and it's quite different from watching it online. But they've got a very good team as well, but not a team that can upset any of these bigger countries that I've mentioned, except otherwise. But let's see what happens. So, of course, Mauritania. I remember a couple of years back, Salon beat the game Mauritania, then 5, 6, 7-0. But I don't think it will be the same ball game right now because they have their football on change, their football on grow. Now Mauritania, they'll be glad for them at the same group with Mauritania, Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, Cape Verde. We always be glad for them and go them because we believe so they qualify. But we never don't qualify over them. But they always beat them when they beat you back when it's necessary, either at their own home ground or away or withdraw. So that has been some of the challenges that the country they don't face with Salon. But again, like I say, Salon Santo will qualify, but we don't know whether we'll qualify. We don't know when next. So they watch for see whether that get will happen within the next 5 or 10 years. Again, it can take 15, 20 years for low qualify. And with president, we don't say I ain't get the key, but Italy say the key don't lost right now, so we'll go for Fen and back. So that's now for Salon. So the 16 team way I don't highlight, so I don't name 5. We're not potential winners them. We are free to say anyone can name 5 countries and they can win the tournament. But if you get your name of any country we believe say go win, please send us a text message or chat na the group. We don't get 3 countries and so far. Alaji say Nigeria, Arun Pape say Nigeria, and then Alex says Senegal. So we don't get 2 Nigeria and 1 Senegal. So we hope for get more names them before the program done for like we know the one way una go predict for be the winners of this particular tournament. So we're moving on, and we move on now to the draw itself. The reason why we move on to the draw right now because we believe say the draw na the best elements of the competition. But before I do that, might just give one quick update. Say the best young player for the group stages na Lamine Camara, who they play for Senegal. And the best coach for the group stages na Aliou Cissé, the Senegal coach. Senegal look like person they don't call the best of the best for these few stages of the competition. We hope say it not get for be like that as we go forward, but I will not be surprised if we get to that stage of the competition so far. What we have seen is a pure elements of dominance in African football, and I feel to say we get for big look at the competition differently for make people for understand how it is going. The best goalkeeper for the group stages na Jesus Owono, that's not the goalkeeper for Equatorial Guinea. So these are some of the things that we are possibly going to be seeing happening on the other stage of the competition where we can go to now and yeah, see what happens. So far the top goal scorers then for the competition, you get Imulu, we don't score 5 for I think it's that Equatorial Guinea. You don't get Baghdad, we don't score 3 for Algeria. You don't get Mustafa Mohammed, we don't score 3 for Egypt, and Jordan Ayew don't score 2 for Ghana. Then Lamine Camara don't score 2 for Senegal. So that's not the goal scorers them. So far so good. We get a lot for talk about, but we're not able to talk about everything right now. So we come to the knockout group stages of the competition, and the country then we get to play against each other. So we take them by order, and then we look into them, and then we decide whether we feel to see the win at any group then they. And the reason make I say so now because these are going to be the most challenging side of the tournament. Now, the first game we get for begin look at now, the game we get for, well, by the way, I'm not going to cover all them games there, so I will only cover like 3 or 4 of them until we get to the next stage of the quarterfinals. But I think that 3 I don't intend for cover now these knockout stages. The reason being, I dey cover all the games the way they happen inside Abidjan for now, and I dey stay away from the provincial towns. So the game that I get for cover inside Abidjan get for be the Nigeria and Cameroon game. Right, Nigeria-Cameroon is going to be a very interesting match, and that match they get for play on Saturday. The reason why I make I say it will be a very interesting match, then they play the game na Felix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, where they right in the middle of Abidjan, and very nice stadium. Well, the outside of is massively big. I don't know what it's like inside because I'm not good at it, but this will be my first time to go in there and cover a match. I've been to 2 of the newest built stadiums them already, and this Houphouët-Boigny one, one of the one they will just renovate. Again, you can tell say it's quite old because it's right in the middle of the city, and all the other one they way then build when the new one they all the at the outskirts, and they build massive new stadium them anyway. So this now the one way I would really like for go because of the structure of the Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, where I don't see from the outside because it's on my route to the media center. We're not too far from the Houphouët-Boigny Stadium. So Nigeria get for play against Cameroon, a very interesting match, and that match they could determine exactly what will be the outcome of this particular Afcon. Here's make I say so now because with that match day, the winner of that particular match, now they begin look at now for see who that will win the tournament. If we fail for understand say them particular 2 teams then they will play so, now then likely get for begin for determine how the tournament they go, then we they make mistake. And the mistake what they make, now the fact say we they take things for granted. We need to look at the games then properly for make we able to analyze and say, well, this team go able to beat this team, for make you able to go to the next stage, for make you able to get to this result and that results. So the Nigeria-Cameroon game is like a semi-final. And this is not the knockout stages. So can you imagine? One of them get for goal. And the one panel we get for goal, they among the 5 countries then we made on highlight say one of them go win the tournament. So Nigeria have a good record against Cameroon. I don't really look at those records for now because the record then go speaks volume, but the performance on the day speaks bigger volume than the record we something one country they go don't get against the other. I mean, that's I see they say London. I don't know what in London get for do this so because London not they part this competition. But anyway, something you just they join we, you know, understand what in the output. But not to London, no. I beg there London not they part this competition. Like we London well so. Alright, so let's move on. So we get Nigeria and Cameroon, one of them get for goal, and when one pan goal, then they create space for another. And then you get Angola, they play against Namibia. So one of these countries are lucky to play against each other because one of them will have the opportunity to go to the knockout stages of the quarterfinals. So it is very good for them because at the end of the day, they themselves get some representation from that part of the continent. So it is fine for me. I think that was a good draw. It would not have been nice for the other 2 countries then they against Nigeria or Cameroon. We will not foresee it will be like a total dominance if they do that kind of stuff. But it's good that we have 2 Central African countries that are going to, well, one South Africa, that are going to compete against each other and one Panenge for go to the quarterfinal stage, which is a very good thing. And then you have Mauritania against Morocco. Again, Morocco, yes, we will not foresee that will be a dominant match, but this is not the team that we don't underestimate right now because they are kind of almost within the same surroundings and they get the same kind of atmosphere. So their game is not much of a difference because Mauritanians are more or less the black Arabs within that region there. So I know they doubt their ability or their energy in terms of the way how Morocco they play. So that's going to be another interesting match. I will not be surprised if we get any kind of upset on that particular match day. Foresee exactly what's going to be the outcome. We'll go wait and see. And then you get Cape Verde, Angola they play against Namibia, then Cape Verde they play against Mauritania. Sorry, I got that wrong. So Cape Verde is playing against Mauritania. So again, like I said, one of the two countries then back lucky for Graham for the quarterfinals for the first time maybe, or for the second or third time, but I think it's good for them to be part of the quarterfinal stages. But again, it would have been bad for make you draw them with, well, according to the games, they don't know that get popular. But that's not a bad draw for those two countries. One of them are going to have the opportunity to go to the quarterfinals of this particular tournament. They get now Morocco and South Africa, a very determined game. We don't see Morocco don't struggle for deal with the other country that will come out from that part of Africa, that hemisphere there. So it will not be a surprise for South Africa for standing grounds again, because if the entire for beats Congo, then they might find it difficult to beat South Africa, because South Africa also are a very much determined team. They don't lose that much, but they will put their 110%. Their goalkeeper seems to be very good anyway, and he's very focused. But he's got some elements of carelessness where I don't see Panam, which sometimes will be their downfall, but he has to be very mindful. So Morocco-South Africa is going to be a very interesting game, and unfortunately, I will not cover that game. That game plays in San Pedro. So I will be covering the Cameroon-Nigeria game in Abidjan, Cape Verde and Mauritania in Abidjan. Then we come to the next other group. You have Mali and Burkina Faso. Well, Mali might qualify in that group. Maybe they might beat Burkina Faso. I'm not too sure. But that's going to be an interesting game anyway. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to watch it because it's happening in Kohogo, which is the Amadou Gouan Koulibaly Stadium. So yes, that's going to be something that I will watch from home, and I'll possibly go live in some of those matches as well. And then now you get Senegal, Côte d'Ivoire in Yamoussoukro. Very disappointing that it's happening at Yamoussoukro. I love to watch this match because that is a semi-final or final. The reason why I say that is the semi-final or final is because of the gravity of the tension with this particular match get forget. And that gravity get for there's so much on the two countries. Them Senegal is the defending champion. Their record stands for itself right now, as we can see. They have performed very well, won all their matches, and they are on top form. Now, Ivory Coast is the host nation. They're struggling a little bit, and they are fortunate to be back into the competition at this level. Are they going to throw everything at Senegal? That's the good question I'm asking, because I want to see exactly what is going to be the outcome of this particular match, because this match, now they make the tournament sweet or the tournament not sweet. So I would like to see the results of this particular tournament. Unfortunately, this particular match, unfortunately, I'm not able to cover this match because not Yamoussoukro really happened. So I will possibly go live on that day whilst the game is playing, and then we'll be able to talk about the game and we analyze them as we do now. So that's now the interesting part of this particular competition. Senegal, the defending champions, then they play against the host nation on round 16. That's not semi-final for me. I will not say that's the final, but that's a semi-final. So I don't get two semi-final situations right now. Nigeria, Cameroon, Senegal, Ivory Coast. Now let's go down. We get now Egypt will play against DR Congo. Well, like I say, the Arab countries in the struggle, so I will not be surprised if they lost this particular one to Congo. But anyway, their game might change. Maybe Salah can perform the miracle they always perform. but he hasn't performed well in this tournament so far. So we need to expect miracle for come off from him. But let's see what happens, because at the end of the day, if you determine for win then kind of tournament, so now this stage you begin show say yes, you're ready for win this tournament. So we will look forward for the results between Egypt and Congo, and we will see exactly whether Egypt will be able to go past them, because Congo now also the team where Morocco struggle for beats, and if Morocco struggle for beat them, Egypt could struggle as well, because Egypt not don't perform very well. So we look forward to that result today. And then the last set of the round of 16, now Equatorial Guinea and Guinea. Like I say, Equatorial Guinea, they are very physical, they are very active, and if Guinea manage to cross them, then they are a very good side. But it could be very much difficult for Guinea, because Guinea gets a very young team. I don't see how they will be able to go past this particular Equatorial Guinea squad. We're so physical against Ivory Coast. They gave Ivory Coast 4-0. But not just that, they've dominated the tournament so far in their group. So I don't think it's in a team with that easy for beats. The only way I go beat them is if you score, and they have potential to score. And the highest goal scorer of the tournament right now they come out from. And not to say a striker or now defender na in club where they play, and then a striker for in country, na the club captain, na the country captain. So basically, can you imagine a defender for your club, and then now you're a striker for your country, and now you're the leading goal scorer for the particular tournament? That's the disgrace to the strikers that we have. But anyway, football are football. You might be the best striker in the world, but that does not mean you should be the highest goal scorer in the tournament. Yes, automatically you expect that to happen, but sometimes it doesn't. So that now the 16 knockout stages of the second rounds of the tournament, and with the hope say this one will bring a very interesting tournament. Even though I don't highlight 2 semi-finals or finals, it also means that the tournaments don't get to the level we all been waiting for when at this particular level. We are very much fortunate to have Ivory Coast back in the draw, and then they will give some kind of momentum and boost to the competition. And we hope say it will be able to make we get more kind of warm within they happen right now in the country. Ivory Coast is a very warm country, very hot, but at the same time we get to look at some of the things that we beneficial for hosting this tournament. So we will come in soon. And I want to say thank you to all who don't join me on YouTube and Facebook. And thanks for your contribution and comments that you've made. And look, don't forget, we'll get 3 people that we don't predict, and we will follow this prediction. If the prediction come true, like I say, I will buy the full replica for the country that we then predict say they win. I believe say they not just they predict for these countries now, because they also they support them. So they will be very happy to receive memorabilia from these countries on my return back to London. So thank you very much, guys, for watching, and thank you for spending your time with me within the next hour or 2. And we hope still will come back maybe sometime tomorrow or on Saturday with another live update or live update now the pitch side where Nigeria go to play against Cameroon. So stay tuned. Don't forget to follow us and like our page, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube page as well, because in the next couple of months we get for possibly begin broadcast from a YouTube page. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you for following us. Thank you for all your comments, and thank you for your support. And don't forget, we're coming back within the next couple of days with live updates after this particular session of the knockout stages. Then they start soon. So stay tight, keep yourself warm, don't stay out in the cold, and stay safe. And have a good weekend. And make sure you're ready for support the country and for support for this particular tournament, because the way how things are going, now like the winner takes it all. And if the winner takes it all end up for the Ivory Coast, well, now extra bonus. So thank you guys for watching, and have a blessed evening. Until next time, I say to you all, good night and have a great day. Thank you.